Hashtag cold open. I turned off my water for one night, and it cost my neighbor everything, his house, his income, and his dignity. And the best part? He'll never be able to prove it was me. Hashtag the story. So here's the thing about moving to a new country, you never really know what you're walking into. I just purchased this house in the middle of the capital city, and I got an absolutely insane deal because the previous owners, who were actually family friends, they needed cash fast. They hadn't even been living in the country for almost 3 years, so the place had basically been sitting vacant. A total fixer-upper, honestly. The main door didn't even have a proper lock, just a padlock. And there was no gate, which meant literally anyone could just walk in. The first day I moved in, someone's motorcycle was parked in my garage. I didn't even hesitate, I just moved it to the road and had a gate installed that same day. Sure enough, later that afternoon, this angry guy shows up at my gate, absolutely furious, pounding on it for like 15 minutes before he gives up and takes the bike. That's when I'm thinking, okay, this neighborhood might be a problem. After that incident, things calmed down a bit. People just didn't realize the house was actually occupied now, so they'd block my gate all the time, but a simple, no parking, sign took care of that. I figured I was in the clear. Then, last week, I'm taking a shower and I notice something off. The water pressure is weaker than usual. And at that exact same moment, I hear it, my next-door neighbor's water pump kicks on. Now, this neighbor, he's an older guy, and he lives in this 3-story house. He lives on the first floor himself, but he rents out the 2 floors above him to tenants. Here's the thing, this guy was not happy about my house being sold. At all. He'd actually complained to the previous owners about it, and they warned me. But I'm 6 feet tall with 3 dogs, so I wasn't worried about him doing anything stupid. And yeah, he never did. But here's where it gets interesting. In a city like mine, water pressure from the public supply isn't strong enough to pump water up 3 stories, so you need a pump. When that pump turns on, it demands a lot of water to fill the tanks on the roof. And I just realized, every time his pump goes on, my pressure drops. So I do what any reasonable person would do, I wait for his pump to turn off, then I test my taps. Pressure's back to normal. Pressure drops again. Pump turns on. It clicks. This guy is literally stealing water from my supply line. Now, it starts making sense. The water bills have been climbing over the years this house sat empty, sure, but there were some leaks, so everyone just assumed that was the problem. But no, this old guy had apparently decided, at some point during those 3 years, that he'd rather just help himself to my water than pay for his own. He'd somehow figured out how to tap into my line. I spent a few days thinking about what to do. Do I confront him? Do I go through the legal system? Do I just let it slide? The thing is, water in my country is dirt cheap. My entire bill, washing 3 dogs, cleaning my car every week, watering my garden, all of it comes to like $5 a month. Even with this guy stealing from me. So it's not about the money. It's about the principle. It's about some entitled old person thinking they're above paying for what they use, thinking they can get away with stealing from someone just because they've been here longer. And that didn't sit right with me. Not at all. So here's what I did. I kept it simple, I didn't need to break into his property, I didn't need to break any laws. I just turned off my water at the mains. That was it. But here's the thing that makes this actually work. See, in my country, the way water tanks function, there's this ball valve in the tank that detects the water level. When the level drops, it sends an electronic signal that keeps the pump running until the tank fills back up. But if the pump is running and there's no water coming in, the pump just keeps running. And running. And running. So on Monday, 4 days ago, I wait until his pump kicks on. The moment I hear it, I walk over to my water meter and turn off the main supply. I know what's going to happen. His pump is going to keep running, desperately trying to pull water that isn't there. It's going to starve itself. And that's going to fry the motor. What I didn't expect, and this is the part that gets good, what I didn't expect is that the pump running non-stop overnight would completely destroy his electrical wiring. His house still had wiring from the 90s, and that constant power draw just overloaded everything. By around 3 in the morning, the entire house loses power. And I can hear it. The residents waking up. The shouting. The tenants absolutely losing their minds because suddenly there's no water and no electricity in the entire building. Now, here's where the law comes in, and this is crucial. In my country, water and power are classified as essential services, even at the state level. Landlords are legally required to maintain the wiring in their property and keep those services running. It's non-negotiable. There's no excuse, you have to keep them working. The only exception is weather or something totally unavoidable. But faulty wiring? That's on the landlord. So these tenants, they're not just angry, they're furious, and they have the law on their side. One of them actually moves out 2 days later. Both of them file complaints with the police. And in my country, if you're in clear violation of tenant protection laws, the police can fine you immediately without needing to go to court. You can challenge it later if you want, but you still have to pay first. This guy gets hit with a $500 fine. In a country where my water bill is $5 a month, that's absolutely devastating. He also has to refund both tenants' security deposits. And he can't rent those units out again until the electrical system is completely rewired, which is going to cost him thousands. The guy's a retired mechanic. The rental income from those 2 tenants, that was his entire livelihood. Without it, he can't afford to live in the house anymore. So he's packing up to move in with his daughter on Sunday. Fast forward to when he figures out what happened. He comes to my gate and asks me, point blank, if I turned off my water. And I look him right in the eye and tell him, oh yeah, my tank sprung a new leak. I had to turn it off until the plumber came by to fix it the next day. The lie slides out so smoothly. I watch his face. He keeps it completely straight, but I can see it. I can see him holding back. He just says, oh, okay, and walks back inside. I don't know if he actually knows it was me or if he's just suspicious, but honestly, it doesn't matter. He can't prove anything. There's nothing he can do. I'm getting a plumber out next week to remove any pipes that leave my property, so he can't tap into my line again. Problem solved. The water theft is over, the problematic neighbor is moving out, and I didn't have to break a single law or throw a single punch. All it took was one night with the water off.